It's my life, it's your life. Fighting for tomorrow through the hard knock days. We want more, gotta get more than the ordinary way. Here we go. Don't back down, don't slow down. Even if the winds don't blow our way and days turn gray. Believing we'll achieve our goals. We'll carry on through hard knock days. Hello everyone, it's finally time to do my top 5 moments for episodes 600 to 700. I say finally time, but I think I'm gonna get this video up like pretty soon after the episode 700 video is gonna be up for people on YouTube. So I think I'm doing this pretty quickly compared to the last one and maybe the one before that. I was quite late into the time. I think I'm pretty sure I waited a little while to do it, but this time I'm doing it pretty quickly, I believe. And also I'm going to be doing it the same way that I did it last time, which is it's basically like some of the top 5s originally tended to be quite long, and I would talk for a long time about each thing, or at least it felt like I did. And last time I decided to be a bit more succinct with it. I'm going to do that same thing here because I do think it works better for me being succinct. But luckily, if there's any of these moments that you were really interested in me talking about, you can go to the video itself. And I do discussions on every episode. I do, you know, pretty lengthy discussions sometimes. So you can go and check out my thoughts right after I saw the moment for the first time. But I'll give, you know, more of my thoughts this time based on how I still feel about it, however many episodes later after I've seen it. Now, we're doing episode 600 to 700, right? There's a bunch of times that I've been watching episodes and people have said to me like, oh, I don't envy you having to choose the top 5 for this set of 100 episodes, or this set of 100 episodes, right? And I don't think I saw anyone say that to me for this set of episodes, 600 to 700, but I think confidently say this was the most difficult one to do. And I think the reason for that is like, there are a lot of moments that are like high tier. I feel like in every other group of 100, there was like one moment in it that I was like, well, that one's number 1. And I just put it to the side and I was like, that one's definitely number 1. And then these one, but here, like, there's a lot of moments that made me feel different things for different reasons. And we'll go into this as we go on, but I struggled a lot putting this list together, and there's a lot of stuff on the cutting room floor. That's the chopping block or the cutting room floor. There's a lot of stuff that isn't even making honorable mentions because there's just like enough stuff here that I think would deserve it. So even though, you know, this is getting into Dressrosa stuff and getting into some slower pacing and all of that, there's still so many great moments. One Piece is amazing. So anyway, we're going to be talking about all of them. I'm going to be putting in hopefully some reaction clips from the thing, but it's not going to be many reaction clips, so make sure you go and watch the original episodes so that you can see the reactions that you want to see. And if you can support me, that would be amazing. If you can like the video, comment down below. I love reading your comments. I think they help with the algorithm. I don't know, but you know, they at the very least help me like know that you guys like the videos. It makes me feel like I'm doing this for someone. So even if it's just a comment that said great video, or I like this moment, or something like that, all of that is amazing. Please make sure to do that. And you can also support me more, and this is for the more hardcore fans, but you can either join the YouTube membership down below to get 1 week early on edited videos, or join my Patreon account to get over 20 episodes ahead on full-length videos. So, you know, on my Patreon right now, we're around episode 720 or so. So it's definitely worth going over there and checking it out. But, yeah, we're going to be jumping right into this right now. Was there something else I wanted to say? I feel like there was, but I can't remember what it was. So, screw it. Let's just move on and go to number 5 for our top 5 moments. Here we go. My number 5 moment is the Fujitora intro. Oh, is he an admiral? Oh shit. Admiral! He's an admiral! Fujitora. Wait! They said that before! I sent Fujitora! This is who Fujitora is! So Fujitora is a character that before these episodes we had no idea about. Or at least I didn't. I'd never seen this character before. I'd never seen the design for this character in my life. The character is, I think, shown in the intro and like before you see him here, and I wasn't really paying attention, so I didn't even really notice it. I was trying to kind of blur my eyes during the visuals and stuff. So, but yeah, it does show him like with the Admiral, so it does kind of spoil it. But anyway, we meet Fujitora, and we don't know who he is. He's just a blind man, but you know he's powerful because immediately Zoro is like very worried around him, you know? And also, he's got just a badass design. This is an amazing character. Fujitora is such a great character from what I've seen so far. As I said, I'm around episode 720 or so. Fujitora is an amazing, amazing character. And I can't wait to see what he does for the series, what his role is going to be. But like, as the Admirals have always been awesome. Like, every Admiral has been an awesome character. And so for them to have to replace an Admiral, that's a lot to live up to. There's a lot there, big shoes to fill. And this character fucking filled those shoes and then some, maybe, you know? Like, he's one of my favorites. Just such a cool character, cool powers, but the introduction to him is what I'm saying is one of the best moments. Because it really is like, oh shit. This, like, I was speculating beforehand, and I think I ended up speculating on Admiral. Like, I decided, okay, yeah, he seems like an Admiral to me. But I was going back and forth for a lot of different things. But then they show that he's the Admiral, and there's that really cool moment of, like, I remember it was, like, the jacket and stuff like that. It was all really awesome. And I just realized by saying the jacket and stuff like that, the jacket fruit moment is not in this top 5, and it's not in the honorable mentions. So I'll give it right now the honorable mention of one of the funniest moments of the top 100, because I predicted the jacket fruit. But you guys, you know, you either know that or you won't, and if you don't know that, you have to go watch all my videos and find out the lore behind that. But anyway, so the Fujitora intro was just badass, awesome. I really liked it. That's the number 5 moment. At number 4, and this is the trickiest one. I didn't know whether or not to put this one in. I kind of instinctively put it at this spot when I was like planning out the numbers. And then I looked at it and I went, is this actually a number 4 moment? But every time I thought about it, I liked it. And this moment, I'm going to specifically say this is the Rebecca realizing I had a father. Yeah, that's a lot to come back. Like, I don't know. This is the sort of thing that I don't think this is in anyone else's top 5. But like, maybe it is, but I really don't think so. I love Rebecca. I think Rebecca's a great character. And when I was thinking about the moments of this season, this moment jumped in my head. And I started to tear up again. And like, while I was writing it in the thing, I was getting a little emotional while I was like writing it in my top 5 list and like writing my points about why I like it. Because I give myself dot points to remember why I like, you know, talking points essentially. So I was tearing up a little then. I went and rewatched my reaction to it to make sure that, you know, like, was this a moment that I really liked? I just, and like watching the moment again, it got me very emotional again. I really love this moment. Now, I'm tying this in with everyone turning back from being toys. Like, that whole moment is very good. And I'm counting all of that under the purview of number 4. But for me, the emotional climax, and what I didn't remember was that the emotional climax actually happens the episode after they all turn back. Like, her realizing I had a father, that happens the episode after. So it's kind of, this is stretched over 2 episodes. But But I love that moment where she's sitting there and she's crying, and she's just crying because she remembers finally that she had a father, and like possibly the guilt from having forgotten that in the first place, even though it's not her fault, but she would probably still feel guilt from it. And just like all of that loneliness sort of fading away, like her father was with her the whole time, and it's all so beautiful. And the toys turning back in general was very satisfying. They even showed us like a random guy on the street who we had seen before, and had seen like heard a little bit about him, but he's still just an unnamed random character, you know. But we saw him turn back and reunite with his family, and that was emotional, and I got emotional from that. And they were just like random characters, so I really liked that moment where everyone turns back from being toys. It's really great. That's my number 4 moment. Number 3, this one is Zoro vs Monet. Oh shit, this coloring is awesome. Wow, look at that illustration. Oh! Oh my god. There's no way he just killed Monet, right? This fight was really good. I really loved this fight. I always remember this fight. And it was just a really cool, I mean, I made a YouTube short about it because I try to make YouTube shorts on like my favorite of my reactions, and I made a YouTube short on that because it was just a badass fight. It was so much fun. It had a great ending to the fight, like really hype and really excited, and like you see Zoro, you know, being like pretending he's more ruthless than he is, just to scare the shit out of someone and get them to basically give up on fighting. And doing that after building up Monet so much was so cool, because Monet was such a great character, and she was so feared, like by me at least, you know. She was a very scary character because of how powerful she was. I mean, if it wasn't for her, Luffy would have taken down Caesar Clown much easier, I think, like much quicker. But she is just like so intelligent, and her power was strong, and she didn't hesitate. Like there was so much about her that was just such a great character. And so that moment where they're fighting against each other is really hype, because it's like this is a really fun matchup for Zoro to have. And then I love that he kind of shows her that he could kill her, but then he doesn't, you know, like through his fighting, he does that. I also think this battle was good because I feel like I just learned more about Zoro through the battle. I think like there's actually a lot of, you know, there's a lot of Zoro content in the show in terms of fights and badass moments and stuff, but I actually feel like we don't often learn that much about his personality. Like, I think we know a lot about it just from things we can assume, and he's a kind of simple guy. But I was like, I speculated a lot about the kind of person that he was in that video. I'm not going to go into all of the things because it takes a lot of explaining, and I already yap a lot. But I suggest you go watch my Zoro vs Monet video and watch the discussion in that, because some of the discussions that I was having based on his character, I was really trying to analyze what I thought he was feeling and thinking, because I thought it was very complex and interesting. So yeah, I love Zoro vs Monet. I think that's like one of the best fights that we've had in a while, and that's why it's my number 3. Number 2 moment. I thought, now number 2 and number 1 very often like go back and forth, and this was no exception. So this is what I've chosen for my number 2 moment. Here it is. My number 2 moment is Mocha's sacrifice. Oh. Shit. Oh my gosh. Is she eating all of it? Just so that no one else can have it? Oh my god. Oh my god. This is so fucked. Oda never kills characters. If the characters he ends up killing are these kids, What the fuck is wrong with him? It's still making me cry. Does this episode ever end? I'm dehydrated, Oda! So this moment, frankly, is like the most emotional moment for these 100 episodes for me. It's one of the most emotional moments in the show for me, I feel like. I was... The Mocha sacrifice, they do it for like most of the episode, right? It really... And I'm not saying they stretched it out. I'm just saying they appropriately put it within an episode's length. And the entire episode, I was crying. Like, I was just not... A lot of the time, I will cry for the one moment, and then I will just be like... then I'll just be sitting there, just dead inside for a little bit. The Mocha sacrifice thing, I think I was just straight up crying the whole episode. Because they did some really, really emotional stuff. Now, I'll also say, I think this is the episode after the Zoro versus Monet fight, or at least 2 episodes after, but it's one of the 2. It's within the same video, and I know this because normally I title my videos in such a way that it's like the title is like the thing that, you know, you're probably going to click on the video for, or the thing that I reacted to the most or something. You know, whatever I think is like most important from this group of episodes. Normally it's no issue. Like I remember the most important thing. Sometimes it'll be a toss up between 2 moments and I'll be like, nah, it's this moment. This one I couldn't choose, and literally it's the only one since the start of One Piece, like since episode like 7 or 8 or something, that I've put 2 moments in the thumbnail because I thought they were both so worthy, and that was the Mocha sacrifice and the Zoro vs Monet thing. I put them both in the thumbnail because I was like, they're both such amazing moments that I don't want to like leave one out. So yeah, I loved this moment. I loved it because it was so upsetting. It was so sad. And I mean, since then in Dressrosa, and like look forward to upcoming Dressrosa reactions on YouTube, where I will talk extensively about the fact that my theory is that since Oda had a child, every fucking sad moment in the show now is based around a child in some way. Or at least for these episodes, you know, for this stretch of episodes that I've been watching lately, it's all based around the sad truths of children. And this is like the start of it, essentially. Mocha, I got very, very attached to her, and then watching her do this broke my heart. Absolutely broke my heart. And then what broke my heart, I think even more, which is shocking, but even more, is when Chopper apologized to her. Just like, he didn't have to apologize to her. Chopper didn't do anything wrong, but he basically said, I'm sorry that we couldn't come sooner. I'm sorry that if we had come sooner, we could have stopped a lot of this pain, but now it might be too late. And that moment is so special to me, and so upsetting to me. But I really, really love it. I love everything about that moment. I love the way it was written. I love the way that it was like the climax of all of this connection that it had built between me and especially Mocha up until that point. And it was just amazing. Honestly, my only major regret out of like Punk Hazard and the way it ended and stuff was I'm pretty sure we never ended up seeing the kids get like reunited with their families. That was something I really wanted to see, and we didn't see that. Now maybe we will in the future. Don't tell me if we do or not, please. Don't say like, oh, that'll be coming in a few episodes or whatever. I don't want to know. But that was, you know, I wanted to see it at that time in the epilogue of Punk Hazard, and we never ended up seeing it. But that was my only real regret there. Anyway, Mocha Sacrifice, incredible moment, and that's my number 2. Now, before we get to number 1, and I'm sure you're forming in your head, you're like, okay, well, there we go. This moment's number 1. Don't think about it too hard yet. Let's do them honorable mentions of this time, which there's some good honorable mentions here. I did cut down this list to a small amount, just so that we don't bloat this too much. But here are my honorable mentions. Luffy, get a grip! That was the Zoro to Luffy speech that he gave that just basically told him to shape up or ship out, and I loved that. Monet's final moments. As I said, I love Monet. I love her so much. And these moments where we have this very quiet moment with her, and then she gets stabbed in the heart by Caesar, is so cool. I love that. Aokiji vs. Doflamingo. I really thought this was going to make the top 5, but then once I wrote the top 5, I couldn't find a spot for it. But this is like such an incredible moment. It really had to be up there. Honestly, the fact that an Aokiji moment that's this cool doesn't end up in the top 5 is crazy. Kiros reveal. This, I didn't expect this in the slightest, and it was a really cool reveal. It was really, really great. Didn't see it coming. But it was so good. And then Usopp's snipe, another moment that really should have been in the top 5. I loved this so much. It was so much fun, such a good build up. And I love moments where Usopp really gets to shine. So I'm sorry that he didn't get to shine in the top 5, but at least here's an honorable mention for you, Usopp. So now here it is. Okay. Here is the moment. The number 1 moment of episodes 600 to 700. And this is the return of a character whose fate was unknown to us, who we needed now more than ever, honestly. A character whose importance to this series cannot be understated. This number 1 moment is the return of Koala. Is this Sabo? Oh my god, they're making a meal out of this. Oh. Oh my god. Oh my god. Huh? Oh. I think he can. He's his fucking brother, basically. Oh my god. Oh, Luffy. Huh? Koala? Oh, look at her! I'm gonna cry. Koala! So yes, of course, this moment is the return of both Sabo and Koala, of course. Now, frankly, right, I think the return of Sabo is like the most important moment that happens in these 100 episodes. It is incredibly, incredibly important and so amazing and such a great build-up and such a great climax, and like everything about it is really good. I guess except for the fact that the anime puts in like extra little teasers about Sabo coming back beforehand that they didn't need to do. But other, like, still such an incredible moment. And yet it wouldn't have been in my number 1 if Koala wasn't there. I have to be completely honest about that, because Koala is a character I got very emotionally attached to during the Fishman Island backstory. And I really loved that character, and I think when we saw that backstory, I was like, oh, it'd be really cool if we saw Koala come back and she was awesome and she was doing this and that and whatever, and I was like speculating on how she could come back, and it never left my mind. I was so excited, and I thought like maybe we'll see her one day or whatever, and then we had the return of Sabo, and my emotions were high, and I was so happy to see him back, and I was so happy that Luffy had a brother again, and then they show us Koala like out of nowhere. Like, honestly, that was just the most hype moment in the 100 episodes. So I know, like, the moment is special because of the Sabo part. That's what makes the moment special. But this is my channel, and I want to be honest with you all. And the people who watch my channel a lot know I simp over these, like, over the female characters in everything, but especially in One Piece, quite a lot. And I need to make sure that I'm telling you my honest number 1 moments. So for me, it's Koala's return, but Sabo and Koala's return go hand in hand, and they both build each other up. Koala's return wouldn't have been as hype if it wasn't coming off the back of Sabo's return. Genuinely, it wouldn't have been. But vice versa, Sabo's return wouldn't have been number 1. I think it would have been 2 or 3. If Koala wasn't there, it would have been 2 or 3. It would have been an amazing moment and really great. But I love it. Sabo is amazing. He's a great character. I love how he's come back. And honestly, another moment, like him getting the flare fruit was another moment I cut out of the honorable mentions. But I guess I can honorably mention it now. But he's such a great character. He was brought back into the show for such a good reason. His design is great right now. And I love that we're also learning more about the Revolutionary Army. And the Revolutionary Army from all the moments we've seen, and all the characters we've seen from them seem badass as hell. Like we've seen, you know, Dragon, we've seen Ivan, we've seen Kuma, and now Koala and Hack and Sabo, and they're all really, really awesome characters. And they took on Robin for a little bit. Like, these are great characters. So I loved learning more about them, and I loved finding out that Sabo's a big part of the Revolutionary Army. He's basically like second in charge. So really, really good. And also, it's just nice to get more Luffy W's, because honestly, the poor guy has been through so much, and he lost his brother. And he thought he had already lost Sabo. So for him to at least get one of his brothers back, it's so amazing. It's such an important thing. And for that brother to then take on Ace's legacy through the flare fruit, beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Amazing moment. And that is why Koala's return plus Sabo is my #1 moment. And that is it. Those are my top 5 moments from episodes 600 to 700. Thank you for joining me for these 100 episodes. Please continue to support these videos as best you can. Like the videos, comment down below, subscribe to the channel, share the videos around. If you know anyone else who likes One Piece and who might like my videos, please mention my videos to them if you can. Share the videos on whatever social media you would like to use. And I would really appreciate it, you know. And I mean, if you do it on anything that I'm on, like Blue Sky or something, then, you know, I'll give you a like, I'll repost you or whatever, because I really appreciate it. But thank you so much for joining me. If you want my reactions earlier, you can either join my YouTube membership down below to get 1 week early, or you can go to my Patreon account to get to the next 20 or so episodes early. Yeah, thank you for joining me. I will see you next time. Thanks for watching One Piece. Woo!